From Storm Tracker 6, this is Forecast First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
Our day began with rainfall and heavy at times as well. This afternoon, a few more showers and storms producing heavy rainfall as well, but it's beginning to come to an end finally. Still a few lightning strikes east and a few to our south, but as I said, I expect that to begin to dissipate fairly soon. Temperatures currently upper 70s Lansing, lower 70s in Jackson, 69 degrees in Howell. As we move into late this evening and during the overnight hours, we expect quiet weather on the way with a chance for rain coming quickly to an end. Temperature-wise for tonight, I don't think it's going to be too bad out there. Lows around 62 or 3 by early tomorrow morning. More 80s on the way and the humidity's back in the forecast this weekend. 6 News at 6 starts right now.
WLNS is here for you, celebrating 75 years of bringing you the news with 6 News at 6.
Destroys a mid-Michigan boating business and shuts down a major highway. It's our top story at 6. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jorma Duran.
And I'm Siobhan Klepfer. Firefighters in Summit Township responded to this call about a fire this morning at Thayer Marine, a longtime Jackson County boat service business that's been around for nearly 40 years.
6 News reporter Sean Graney was there. He spoke to first responders and the owners, and he's here for you now with the story.
Here in South Jackson, a massive fire at boat service provider Thayer Marine has reduced the building to heavy debris, leaving only a few new boats untouched. At around 8 a.m., employees working inside noticed smoke and flames coming from the attic and immediately called 911.
Conditions rapidly exploded in a sense to where the entire roof section of the structure became involved, and we had to go defensive on that fire.
Summit Township Fire Captain Todd Moore says while no one was hurt, they are still trying to find out what sparked the flames.
The main area that we saw the fire at is on the south or the west portion of the structure. It was a very difficult fire to extinguish, and unfortunately the building at this point appears to be a loss. Next steps moving forward is the excavator is going to complete the demolition of the structure.
Co-owner Susie Thayer told me off camera that the cause of the fire may have been electrical and that she's thankful no new boats near the building were damaged. Jay Dart, a New Jackson disaster relief team, was on the scene providing snacks and drinks to officials. Board trustee Michelle Cook says moments like these really hit close to home.
My husband is a firefighter, and so that's kind of part of the reason why I got on this team. When I see these guys working in extreme environments, my heart just goes out to them.
The owner tells me that they will be sending out a news flash to customers today or tomorrow about parts purchased and store availability. Here for you in Jackson, Sean Graney, 6 News.
Our 6 News Investigates team report on the Michigan State Police continues tonight.
Yeah, the multi-part web series titled The Big Boys Club takes a closer look at former MSP trooper Megan Morrick's claims against the agency and includes hundreds of pages of internal reports, legal filings, and more.
In fact, MSP documents show in 2016, leaders at the Lakeview Post knew that putting Morrick under the training supervision of former trooper Trevin Antcliffe was a potential problem. Now, he was seen as a, quote, womanizer and a wolf in the henhouse. They assigned Morrick to him anyway, and within, quote, 2 weeks, she says Antcliffe was pushing her for a sexual relationship.
MSP officials say all of Morrick's allegations were taken seriously and were thoroughly investigated, but determined that she was a threat to the safety of her fellow troopers, a claim Morrick says is flat wrong.
By the time I was with him, he controlled my whole career. I had just gone through 22, 24 weeks of the academy, all that training, probably one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. Survived it. Now I was out on the road and training, and he controlled my future, because once I got to the second phase of shadow with him, he could fail me daily.
Our 6 News Investigates team will share the hundreds of pages of internal MSP reports, emails, legal documents, audio recordings, interviews, and videos throughout the series that they have been looking into and collecting for 10 months.
And you can read the latest Big Boys Club reports online right now at WLNS.com. And stay with 6 News here on air and online as we continue this investigation with a lot of reporting still to come.
The Listening Ear, an East Lansing-based crisis prevention center, will close later this month after 55 years of service. The last day of operation will be on July 15th, the same date that the service began in 1969. The Listening Ear is made up of an all-volunteer staff who are trained to help those dealing with suicide, depression, loneliness, sexual assault, and grief. In light of this closing, 6 News is posting on our website, WLNS.com, the phone numbers for the suicide hotline and the Michigan Peer Warm Line if you or someone you know needs help.
The Michigan Chamber of Commerce held its second annual Civics Bee today. Students from many different schools came to Lansing to compete and have a chance to go to the national competition in Washington, D.C.
I think that this is an important topic that needs to be addressed.
The event took place at Heritage Hall and was put on by the Michigan Chamber of Commerce Foundation. 21 students from across the state in grades 6 through 8 put their knowledge and skills to the test with all things civic related, from essays to discussions. Students also worked through different community problems and had to come up with a way the government should fix them. The students not only battled for a spot on the bus to Washington, D.C., they also tried to win some cash prizes.
The Lansing clergy is honoring late Bishop Carl Mengling. His body was ceremonially received early today, and parishioners are now gathering to pay their final respects to the former bishop of 12 years. Zach Prees was there and joins us now live in the studio with the latest. Good evening, Zach.
Good evening, Jorma. The people I talked to at St. Mary Cathedral, they described the previous bishop as energetic, loving, and focused on Christ. One woman even traveled across state lines to say farewell. The casket of former Bishop of Lansing, Carl Mengling, was walked down the aisle. One woman watching knew it was worth the trip to be here for this moment.
Because he's worth it, because he was a man of God, and he deserves respect, he deserves honor, and I was happy to do my little part.
Bishop Mengling was born in the Hoosier State and served as pastor of St. Thomas More Parish in Munster, Indiana from 1985 to 1995. Christine Greenberg, who lives in Munster, wanted to be there for him one last time. Remembering all the other times he was there for everyone else.
He was always interested in everybody. He always had a smile on his face, and he would always have a little dinner for those that served, those in the choir, like that. So he thought about everybody. He just did. That's the way he was.
Lansing's current bishop, Bishop Earl Boyer, tells a similar story about Bishop Mengling, one of joy.
Oh, his sense of humor, he makes me look shy. He was so outgoing, just a very engaging person, wonderful, had a great sense of joy and humor.
Boyer says St. Mary Cathedral represents a full-circle story for the late bishop.
He was ordained a priest in a Catholic church, and he was made bishop of this diocese back in 1996 here in this cathedral. So he's coming home, as it were. And so it's symbolic not just of coming home here to a building, but getting ready to go to heaven, to his true and eternal home.
And Greenberg recalled Bishop Mengling becoming good friends with her mother and says he did much work in the Catholic Church, building more than 16 separate ministries in the time he was pastor of her parish. Now there is public visitation at St. Mary Cathedral in Lansing until 9 p.m. tonight.
From Storm Tracker 6, this is Weather First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
And lots of storms across the area today. We've got more rain in the forecast and some humidity as well. We'll start though first with our picks on 6 pick of the day. These kind of pictures and just totally get me because I'm lost in thinking about who lived there, when it was built, all the stories that happened at that particular place. But this is just a cabin in Gladwin County from our friend Tim, and boy, I'll be keeping that one for sure. Appreciate that, Tim. Would love to see more pictures, and they can be cabins too, or anything around mid-Michigan weather-wise. Upload yours at WLNS.com/share. A look at the Doppler radar shows a few leftover showers and storms. They're beginning to wind down, however. Strongest is probably over portions of Livingston County this afternoon. These storms are moving off towards the east and southeast. Now, as far as hail production, I mean, this is up around 20,000, maybe as much as 30,000 feet, but most of the brighter colors are a little bit lower, so the chances of even some pea-sized hail appear fairly low. Just some heavy rain and probably winds 20 to 25, maybe 30 miles per hour. Precision cast for tonight, storms move out, so by tomorrow morning, we're looking at quiet weather. We may have some clouds roll in, so it may start a little bit gloomy, but then we'll break into sunshine as we head throughout the morning and afternoon hours. This little system to our west didn't even exist about 24 hours ago, just recently formed from some other thunderstorms, but it begins to make a problem for us on Friday's forecast because assuming it holds together, it probably will throw some showers and storms into southwestern portions of the state by Friday morning. Could it hold together and give mid-Michigan a few raindrops? It is possible, but either way, they're out of here quickly by Friday evening. Our muggy meter as we head into the weekend, humidity is going to be creeping up with the dew points, climb back into the 60s to near 70 degrees. So especially Friday night into Saturday and then part of Sunday, it will feel quite humid outside once again. Temperatures currently in the low to the mid 70s as we check out some of the rainfall totals on the Skyview network. We picked up 4,100 on the McLaren Cam, temperature at 80 degrees. Grand Ledge this morning, it was really coming down. We picked up 7,200, 7 inch of rainfall, high temperature and our current at 84 degrees. This evening in Jackson, temperatures at 72 degrees, rain cooled, 80 was our high, only 100th in the rain gauge. We'll see if we add a little bit to that, however. Final stop in Hillsdale, where the roads are looking a little wet out there now as some showers and storms are rolling through. We're at 2,200, 7 inch with a current temperature down to 70 degrees. Tonight's forecast, expect a low of 63 with skies becoming partly cloudy later on tonight. Dew points are low enough that it should feel pretty pleasant out there. Tomorrow's forecast, temperatures rise quickly into the 70s at noon and back into the 80s late in the day. We should see lots of sunshine to finish out our Thursday. The 6-day forecast, Friday night into Saturday, chance for storms, and there could be a couple out there during the day Friday as well. Saturday evening into Sunday looks good, and upper 80s return by next Tuesday. A few more storms Tuesday night, Wednesday, and then it looks quiet next weekend with mid 80s and lows in the mid 60s, which means humidity should be just fine, just summer-like.
I love that.
Me too.
Just normal summer weather.
Yeah,
it's the normal one.
It's the humidity that just, ugh.
Yeah, and fortunately this time it's going to only be here for like 2 days, Saturday, Sunday, and then gone again.
All righty. Thanks for the update.